Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the militant state of Michigan. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I hope isn't happening, or that won't happen, or that I'm wrong about. I hope I'm wrong about it. That's the best way I can explain it. And that's with today's housing market. And although it's different from back in 2004-ish when we had the great housing bust or bubble, because that was based on adjustable rate mortgages, there's a couple of similarities with this current market that has me a little bit worried. And if you watch the movie The Big Short, there's like two sentences in that whole movie that kind of relate to this. And that's when Michael Burry is in his office and he's got the music cranked up and he's reading a book, and his big investor comes into the office with one of his other flunkies, who knows what he is, but they walk into his office and they say something like, "We don't have any confidence in your ability to understand microeconomic trends," or something like that. And he says, you came all the way here to tell me that. And he talks about there is no bubble. And Michael Burry says, well, there is a bubble. There's always signs of it. And one of the signs he talks about is that basically these houses that are based on these mortgages are no longer assets, they're debts. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now, where houses are now debts. They're not assets. Houses are similar right now to buying not only a new car, but paying above sticker price for the new car. See, they're still getting, the interest rates are so low, which takes out the sort of the adjustable rate mortgage angle. What happens is the mortgage rates are so low right now, you have a vast majority of people that can afford the 5% down payment that's required to purchase the home. And because there's such a huge supply of buyers, the prices of these houses exceed current market value. And they're paying premiums on these houses. I mean, they're paying for, let's say, a house that should sell for $100,000, because of the demand, the shortage of houses, and the people available for them, they're paying $115,000, $120,000 for these houses. Plus, they have such a small amount in the house, as far as equity goes. To me, they're debts. They're not assets. So they've gone out, and I mean, I understand, and I would never, ever, ever tell somebody they were crazy to rent instead of own. I mean, if they said, look, I bought a house because for a 3-bedroom house, they were going to charge me almost $1,800 a month in rent, but for the same price, or maybe even a little less, I can buy a $200,000 home. So I would never say that it's wrong, but I think there's a bit of a difference in the way you look at buying houses these days. So getting back to some of the problems that I see, because these people are getting these loans at these mortgages at such a low interest rate, There's nowhere for the mortgage rates to go but up. And these mortgage rates are going to be eventually going up. If you look over like a 50-year trend of mortgages, you're going to see they were probably around the 6% range. 6 to 7% is sort of an average mortgage rate for over the last 50 years. So mortgage rates, if they go back to normal rates, they're going to double. Now, for you buying your premium house, you're paying this 3% mortgage. Seems like a really good deal. But you have such a small amount of equity in this house. First of all, in 10 years, let's say 10 years or even 15 years down the road, you've paid little on the principal. I'm not sure how it's going to go when you want to go try to get a home improvement loan, because it's based on the equity in the market value of the house. And I see the values, they're paying these premiums. The prices of the houses are going to go down. There's not going to be as many buyers in the market. Things are going to level off as far as interest rates going up. The market value or the sale is going to start decreasing. The sale prices of the house is going to come back down. So someone probably 10 years from now has bought that house and paid the $20,000 premium. Their house is probably going to be worth less than that. They owe very little, or they have very little equity in the house. And I don't know how you get a home improvement loan. You certainly can't refinance. Why refinance and double your interest rate? And then the other thing too is, if you wanted to try to sell that house in 10 years, maybe move to a different area, the house still has a mortgage on it of, it's got to be, maybe you've paid 10 grand off it, if that. So you still have a $110,000 mortgage on a house that's probably worth about $110,000. And you go, well, I don't want to take a loss on the house. But there may have been, at 3% interest, there may have been 100 people that were interested in that house. And at the normal rates, 6, 7%, maybe there's only 15 people that could really buy that house. But why would they want to pay a premium on it? So I think there's going to be a bit of a problem for people that want to buy a house and, the starter home thing. I think those people it's down the road, could get hosed when they decide they want to have more kids in a bigger house. I don't see them getting their money out of the house. I think they've set themselves up for a real bad situation. I mean, before, down payments used to be 20%. You'd have 20% equity into a house before you even got the keys to it. Now it's 5% and you're paying a premium for the house. I just think it's kind of upside down. But I would never tell someone to rent instead of own. But I would also tell them, though, if you're going to buy the house because of that, then that's fine. Good luck and God bless. But you're going to have to stay there for the remainder of the mortgage. And when you go to sell the house, you might get back your original listing price or your original sales price because it's been 30 years down the road. And don't be upset with that because you bought the house because you didn't want to pay rent. Because I think gone for the next few years, buying a house, putting a little bit of money into it and selling it, I don't think is going to be, or staying in the house for 10 years or whatever and selling that house for a little bit of extra money so you can put the down payment down on a bigger house. I don't think those days exist anymore. I don't think those days exist anymore. You know, the one thing about real estate, why real estate is a good investment, is because time levels the playing field. Especially, you could buy a 2-unit property right now, even at a premium price, and you may make enough to cover your expenses or whatever. But after the mortgage pays off in 20 or 25 or 30 years, maybe it's even worth less. Maybe you bought that place for $200,000 and it's worth $150,000. You can say, well, look, I don't care what it's worth. I mean, I can just keep renting it and have that income. I don't need to sell it, and I don't need to take the loss. I have time on my side, and with the rent, that extra $50,000 difference I can make up in a year with these 2 units. So time is always on your side when you're investing. You may buy it, never want to sell, and just use it as income. I wish I would have known that, because rental income is passive income, and it doesn't count towards your Social Security. So that's another reason why to buy the income property. But I just think there's going to be a bit of a shocker for some of these people down the road. I think they're spending way too much money for houses. The down payments are too low. When interest rates go up, they're essentially going to be, I don't want to say stuck in the house, but they're eventually going to be in a market that it's not going to be easily saleable, and maybe not getting more than what you paid for it out of, so you can move on farther down the road in life. So that's my thoughts anyways. I hope I'm wrong. I really honestly do. But I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. So I know it's been a while since I've vlogged, but I'm just not interested in talking about Trump and Biden. There's too many people online that'll give you all you need to know about Trump and Biden and all those stories. And I don't want to go around and try to get in arguments to create content, or bitch about paying $15 when you go to a restaurant. Or I'd rather take my time and come up with something reasonably interesting. So that may be it. I've haven't had the real energy to do it. I still today, I don't know what today is, the 8th or 9th of March. I think. I don't know if I can look and see. But anyways, it's a Saturday. I haven't had a day off since the Tuesday before Christmas, and I'm not complaining. But I don't really have that much outside interference going through the day, so, and all I do is work and sleep, so I don't have that much to bitch about. Work, sleep, and then look at my bank account on Fridays. So that's about that's my life in a nutshell. So that's about it. So this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.